Mark, I'm going to ask you a few questions. The first one is about the mood you are going to interpret. Okay. So, can you tell us which is your inspiration deriving from it?
Okay, so what we've been asked to work on is the bob, and obviously Sassoon pioneered or reintroduced this look back into the hairdressing world in the mid-60s in London. And I think, for me, the bob is an eternally popular hairstyle because I think it suits so many people. I think it can work on any hair texture. It can work on any hair length. It can also work on any age. So it's kind of a time that's, I suppose in a way, it's like the little black dress, using a fashion analogy. It's like the little black dress of hairdressing. At some point in their lives, everybody will have had a bob at one point because it's such an alluring hairstyle. And I think even it's even got to the point now where it's kind of a sort of asexual hairstyle. Boys with bobs is very much part of the fashion's global lexicon. So I think it can work for anyone, and it's such a nice hairstyle to do because I think it's so liberating. Without going extremely short, although you can make someone look really effortlessly stylish because it's just a very clean, simple line. I first came to Milan with Vidal Sassoon in 1982 when we put on a big hair show there, and I was at once kind of struck by the magnificent architecture of the city. First and foremost, the scale of it was just so beautiful. La Scala, Duomo, all those kind of amazing. The train station is just like, oh my God. And I was 22 years old, so I kind of fell in love with this city. And I think Italy, in terms of fashion, has always been known for its understated elegance. I think it's in the Italian psyche somehow to be inherently stylish, regardless of sex or age or whatever. So I follow fashion very, very closely. I'm very interested in it. And I think over the years, Italian style, in contrast to the eccentricity of London and the kind of more elaborate nature of Paris and the seriousness of New York, Milan Italian fashion seems to have this kind of relaxed elegance. Although I think at the moment, probably the most innovative, well, there's two things actually, but I would say Valentino. The resurgence of Valentino, the brand, is so exciting, and I think they have essentially a very feminine look, very global in its kind of scope, in its influences. I think that's it's Pier Paolo that's designing that now on his own. But I think most exciting for me is Alessandro Michele at Gucci, because he's totally taken that brand. The brand's been relaunched a number of times. Tom Ford, obviously, famously back in the early 90s. But I think Alessandro Michele now, he's taken it into a completely different league, and every single collection he seems to release has a new interpretation on probably one of the most famous fashion houses in the world. With Estetica magazine, one doesn't reach a 70th anniversary without having three things. Without having, first of all, quality. I think quality will always supersede everything. Secondly, with having really cool professional people who understand the industry and always report it in a very thought-provoking, very professional, very respectful way. And thirdly, I think creativity. Estetica, 70 years, one has to reinvent oneself to stay current and relevant. And I think Estetica has done that with great style, with a great sense of respect for the industry. I think that's really important as well. Vidal always used to say to me, if you respect the industry, you will get so much out of it. And I think that's what Estetica do. They represent us really well, and they respect what we do and report it in that way.
Thank you. Thank you.
So 70 years of Estetica and 50 years of Cosmoprof is quite an amazing achievement. Sassoon celebrated its own 60th anniversary last year. So I think, for me, the whole hairdressing industry is obviously, as everybody else is, on the dawn of a digital age, though I kind of feel that hairdressing, the beauty as a craft, is about interpersonal relationships. It's about working with individuals, and I don't think anyone soon yet is going to trust a computer to cut or colour your hair. So I think the industry is about communication, first and foremost, and continuous education.